Welcome to the Indian Gaming Association's The New Normal webcast. My name is Lisa Johnson. I'm the conference manager for the Indian Gaming Tradeshow and Convention. I'd like to share a few housekeeping tips before we get started. Everyone is muted by default except for our speakers. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box and they'll be brought up at the end. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Victor Rocha, conference chairman of the Indian Gaming Association.
Thank you, Lisa. Welcome, everybody. I hope you guys got in on time this time. Glad to see you. Yep, everybody's in. Good to see you. I apologize. Welcome to New Normal, your go-to source for insightful discussions on the gaming industry and critical issues impacting Native American tribes across the United States. I'm Victor Rocha, and joining me is my co-host Jason Giles, Executive Director of the Indian Gaming Association. Today, we're honored to welcome back Chairman Ernest Stevens. Ernie's going to be there sitting in that chair right in a second. And our dear friend Brian Sullivan, VP of Gaming America for Clarion Events. He's our guy. He's our fixer. He's our Michael Clayton, is what he is. Have you ever been compared to George Clooney before, Brian? It won't happen again.
I'm the handsome one.
That's right. It won't happen again. And Jason, how you doing, my friend?
Good. We're doing all right.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So, everyone, first of all, I'd like to thank you guys. Chairman will be there in a second, but we really appreciate you guys showing up. Today, we're going to be talking about the Indian Gaming Association convention, San Diego convention on Monday, 31st to Thursday, April 3rd. We're talking about the agenda today. As you know, it's more than just an expo. It's our platform for education, strategy, critical conversations, critical thinking, and more importantly, we're discussing where tribal gaming is heading. And I think with this new administration, I think this conversation is more important than ever. Chairman Stevens, welcome. You all right? Did you run in from the car, man? Are you all right?
Hey, man, we're crazy. We just got in from DC late last night, and I caught a collegiate ball game. My granddaughter plays in college in Milwaukee, and got here in the middle of the night and got a couple hours sleep. Did my back routine, my stretching, and we're just on to go. We'll keep going until we jump on the plane for the Western Gaming Show next Sunday. I think we're going there.
Yeah. Well, it starts on a Monday through Thursday over at Pachanga with the Western Indian Gaming Conference for Siniga. Also, when we were in Barcelona for ICE Barcelona, Chairman's granddaughter was playing a basketball game, and he stopped whatever he was doing. And so you're watching those games at 2, 3 in the morning when we were in Barcelona, aren't you?
Yes.
It's actually when we went to ICE. Remember, they would do the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl would be like at 2, 3 in the morning. It was like, hey, we're gonna have a Super Bowl party. And it's like everybody's like fading by 1 a.m. and stuff like that. But
that's crazy. I watched my wife play in college with that granddaughter's mom on my hip and pushing the stroller down the road. So it's our life. Basketball is life. Family is life. And I only had 5 kids, so that was a piece of cake.
That's so ironic. My kid's playing soccer, and I told him soccer is not life. That's what I told him. So it's mixed messages going on here, right?
Yeah, no, basketball is life. You want supper in my house, you got to play basketball.
Oh, we love basketball, and it actually, if hopefully AC Green will show up because we love having AC and stuff like that at the show. But first of all, Chairman, welcome. We appreciate you. We know you're always on the road, and you have this amazing capacity and will to get on an airplane and go wherever you're needed, which is such a gift, not a gift that I possess, but something that I admire in others. So good for you. Very important. So,
Victor, my father's, he went to the spirit world last summer. Last Monday was his birthday, and he would have been 92, I think. But he did the same. Well, he did it without cell phones and without a whole staff and without a fax machine. He did all that and then some. And when I first started this thing, I just wanted to be like him. but the reward of going into Indian country, the reward of fighting side by side with the men and women leaders from throughout Indian country, that really was the ultimate achievement in my life, to be able to walk with the leaders. But you know what? Now I'm 65 years old and I love my job, and I'll get on that plane promptly on Sunday night. But my favorite thing is tonight. My wife's going to come home from work, and we're probably going to go to a high school basketball game and go out and get something to eat. That's the highlight of my life now. It's just waiting for her to get home.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, you do have an amazing wife, and you're very fortunate. She's the best. Yeah, you know what? And this is a good entrance into what we're talking about. Besides, before we get into the agenda, one of the other important things about IGA is that and what makes IGA so unique is that it's not just a trade group, but we do leadership with tribal leaders across the country in tribal gaming, and that's how IGA started, as a way for tribal leaders to sitting around a table figuring out, okay, what's our next move? Gaming's happening. Let's figure this thing out, since we're going to be in the gaming industry, and this is where IGA has grown. But Jason, Chairman, you guys have an agenda planned out too. You guys, on your agenda is on Tuesday, am I correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Membership meeting, yes.
Yeah, Tuesday, Chairwoman Lynn Valbuena, the former longtime secretary of the Indian Gaming Association, will welcome us to California, and she will, in her pretty routine leadership role, will welcome all the tribes in the country to Southern California and kick us off to get our work done.
Now, is this a closed event? Can, like, a vendor who's done business, is there curious? Are there times that they can come in and listen to leadership and stuff like that?
More or less, less than more.
Nothing restricting them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? And again, it's not what we do, and it really isn't there as part of the business side of it. It's just, the government, the tribal side too. But if you are interested and you are honorable and you are respectful, there's always a seat for someone in the back that wants to learn more about Indian country. And I believe the more they know about how we're operating, they'll understand the importance of supporting us, and why the Indian Gaming Association is so important. Brian, how are you doing over there, my friend? Up in the corner. Yeah, that's
Doing
the
well.
box
Thanks, Victor.
where Paul Lind used to be, right? Oh, this is in Hollywood Square. Sorry, my bad. Hi. So Brian, we're back in San Diego. Last year was Anaheim. As much as, and again, listen, because of the pandemic, everything got thrown off. Once, I don't know if you guys remember, but during the pandemic, we had to cancel 2 weeks before the show. And as we were going in, we were waiting and watching, and, and I was getting the list, and people were canceling one after another, after another, after another. And it was just such a horrible feeling to have to do it. And then, when we went back live, remember, we had to go to Las Vegas in 2021. And, that was pretty insane. And so it took us a while to get back to San Diego, Brian. That was because it just screwed up everything, right? Everybody's agendas were screwed up, and they were trying to fix the cancellations and get everybody back in. So that's what we've been dealing with for the last 5 years, right?
Absolutely. Well, the pandemic hit everybody in a lot of ways on it, and we were in Vegas that year at Caesars Forum. But where we are now, no more Anaheims. Right now, I can tell you that coming up, of course, in a few weeks here, San Diego in 2025, San Diego in 2026, Las Vegas in 2027. Back to San Diego in 2028. Now, 2029, we're almost signed in Las Vegas again, because and those years they can't they really just can't handle us in San Diego that year on it. But then again, in 2030, back to San Diego. So the home, as the industry and everyone wants, is San Diego. There's a few years we can't get there. It'll be Las Vegas. So there's no more Anaheim in the future.
I do like Las Vegas, and if we have our spiritual home is San Diego, obviously, but Las Vegas is our next choice. So how's it been going, Brian? How are we doing? People are getting excited about the show. We're, not that far out.
We're not that far out. It's like a snowball rolling down a hill. Things are moving pretty quickly right now on it. So it's so things are doing very well. People are registering. One note that for the viewers, if you haven't made your hotel reservations, I suggest doing it soon. We're tracking about 800 room nights ahead of last San Diego. So, going back to San Diego is goosing things. It's really kind of making things happen. So if you haven't made your plans, it's time to do it, because you want to get the hotel you want. You don't want to get, have to be up the street on it. And, it's things are moving quick. There is availability. Just go to the website on the travel page.
Well, I hope you guys are, as you know, San Diego is usually one of our busiest shows, and we're on track to have another great show too. Um, let's dive in here because I'm sure you guys all want to hear what we're gonna do. We have lots of events, we have lots of awards. We have the chairman on Wednesday and Thursday out on the chairman's lounge, and we're booking them for that. Hey, Chairman, did you see that one of the guys from the Indian and the white guy passed away? Did you see that?
Yeah, Terry Reed,
Terry Reed, yeah. What a shame, huh?
the Indian guy.
For
And
years and years and years, they were at our shows for years and
yeah,
years. Wonderful guys.
they're two of the best ever, and some of the best, like the late Charlie Hill will tell you that those folks worked together, worked in concert, and they broke barriers, like Charlie and Terry Reed and his partner. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. I don't want to call him the white guy because he's an outstanding individual and
He's
he's a
wonderful,
great comedian in his own right.
yeah.
And so I think these broke barriers for the industry. There's a lot of comedians out there now. There was none because nobody would give them a chance because of these guys, and these guys had to, take a strong position. But most of all, they had to be professional and successful. That's what Terry Reed was.
Yeah, it was funny because when we started this, you started this conference or the start of this conference before. It was one of those places where a lot of Native American entertainments. I remember for Charlie, it was such a big deal that to go to the conference to get his name out there, and finally, as a Native American, oh my God, my people have the venues and the events and stuff like that. So they're out there hassling. And by the way, one more thing: did anybody notice that Chubby Checker was nominated in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? And I saw Chubby was nominated. I saw with my own eyeballs. So Chubby's going to be there. We got to make sure that we honor Chubby. I think it's an incredible honor. And by the way, a little known fact: on the day that I was born, January 10th, 1962, Chubby Checkers, The Twist was the #1 song in the country. So he and I have a deep connection. But so Chubby was in there.
Let
So
me tell you, Victor, we were coming back from Barcelona, and I lost my bags. We were delayed. It was a long, long way back home, and we're going down the escalator. My wife's doing the twist, and I was like, where did she get that energy from? I don't know.
Oh, wow.
And she likes Chubby Checker too. Hey, let me tell you. First of all, the gentleman, the white guy, his name is Bruce Williams,
Bruce.
and Williams and Ree. That's
Yeah.
where that comes from. Bruce is an outstanding comedian, and probably someone in deep mourning. So again, shout out to Bruce because those guys did a lot of in kind. They made a strong contribution to the Indian gaming industry.
I'll reach out to him to see how he's doing.
Especially early on when Gay Kimming was telling me they didn't have anything. And those guys put a show on to help benefit Rick and the guys trying to build this Indian gaming image. And so let me tell you this too. The one of our highlights is this. We don't have the second speaker lined up yet, but Gay Kingman will give and to the now renamed luncheon. We've taken the Chairman's Leadership Award luncheon name off of that. It is now the Rick Hill. It's actually It's in honor of Rick Hill and Tim Wapato, but it's the Sovereign Warrior Luncheon. And then celebrating 40 years will be Gay Kingman and a to be announced speaker that will make a speech at that luncheon. It's always a big luncheon. It's a paid luncheon, so get your tickets. Don't chase me because I don't have any. But the other part about that is the honoree of that event. acknowledgement of the Rick Hill Tim Wapato Sovereign Warrior Award will go to the council lady from Morongo, Miss Marianne Andreas.
Oh, my hero, Eric, Marianne and I, wow, we go way, way, way back to at least my beginning. She was a leader and a dear friend, and I adore her, and that's amazing. And by the way, the luncheon is on Tuesday at 12 o'clock on the trade show floor. So usually we take a break and everyone's attends. It's a great networking event. It's a great place, and it's actually the food's usually pretty good in San Diego too. As somebody who usually doesn't eat banquet food, San Diego is pretty good.
Victor, it'll be in room 20 BCD, not on the show floor. They're setting up the luncheon specifically will be
Right.
upstairs on there. So it's
Right.
20
Yeah.
BCD.
Yeah. Well, so again, we all go upstairs and we go up to the big room and stuff at 12 o'clock and stuff. So, that'll be real fun. So again, let's talk about the show. It starts on, where everybody gets in on Sunday. Is there anything happen on Sunday? Do we have any opening events on Sunday, or just everybody climbs in and crawls in and populates the town like we do, right?
Jason,
Right.
give us an update.
No, that's right. Yeah, Sunday's arrival day, and then Monday's golf. So,
We have our
Tell us
board
about the
meeting
golf,
too, right?
guys. Tell us about the golf.
what's that?
Board meeting Sunday night?
Oh, well, yeah, but it's not open to the public. That's our
No.
business. Yeah,
It's still a very important, vital part of our function.
yeah, and
So
and then
tell me about the golf, Brian. Where's the golf at?
yeah.
Golf is going to be at Sequan again, so it's lining up, and honestly, it's getting full. I think there's 30 openings altogether, and I think right now we're at number 17. And again, it's like a snowball; things go forward. It's going to sell out. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, it's time to get the tickets.
Brian's putting it mildly. We don't have as many slots this year, and so it's a smaller golf tournament. And again, I don't have any golf slots. In the past, we've always had a lot of leeway and had extra spots. Our sponsors would give us spots. There's going to be a tight course. So if you're not in, it probably a week or so, then they'll be sold out.
That's
And
true.
all your, our golf proceeds are going to charity. So, if you're a company and you want to donate and buy a team, come on out and golf with us, and your money's going to a good cause.
And it's always well attended too. I mean, we always get a lot of great feedback on the event. It's always been just one of the highlights of the show. And, everybody loves to come to California and golf and on the company dime. I didn't say that, but you know what I mean.
We try to put it in an atmosphere, Victor, where people can that window is a window where they have some free time. So yeah, we put them to work though right away. As soon as they get done with the fun stuff, we go right to work.
Okay, just today, some of us are busy. Oh, somebody's busy. They don't like our chit chat. Oh, too bad. You can leave
Reception
now.
is also on Monday, Victor.
You
at
can
House of
leave
Blues.
now. You can leave now. So anyhow, so then after the golf, obviously after you're done with golf, we have a deep dive. We're going to be doing our deep dive on Monday, March 31st. Starts at, let me get my agenda up here real quick. At 1 p.m. So as somebody who creates agenda, first of all, I'll start with this and then we'll go into the other one. So on the deep dive on Monday from 1 to 5 p.m., we're going to be talking, basically called Leveraging Online Gaming for Tribal Growth. It's about interactive wagering, the next gen gaming, and partnerships. And so actually I have a really good agenda planned. It's breaking down in 4 parts: assessing opportunities, building your brand, the power of partnerships, and the art of agreement. The power of partnerships is going to be Jason Robbins and Christian Jeanette. I hope I didn't pronounce his name wrong. I probably did, from FanDuel. They're going to be talking about working with the big boys. We're going to be talking about building your brand, about white labels with Brett Clapp and Melissa Blau. We're going to be talking about assessing opportunities, which is using your feasibility, making sure you go in this with the right mindset with Gene Johnson and Susan Leckert. And then the very last one at 4 p.m. called The Art of Agreement, Strategies for Effective Partnerships. And that's going to be Scott Crow, and Carrie Patterson. I got Jason and Christian, you know what I mean? So these guys, I think,
Right.
it was look at the writing's on the wall for me, regardless whether you're going to wait or you want to jump in now. I think you still need to develop these skills, have this skill set in understanding what is best for you going forward. I think in California, that's very important. Minnesota, some of the other states that are still talking about sports betting. I think this is a really important that everyone gets their basic the fundamentals down. So casino and gaming operations. So we have our track. We have 9 tracks altogether, I believe, including the NIGC. So the first one, casino and gaming operations. Now this is on Tuesday, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm just gonna, you know what? I can't talk about all of them. Now, one of the things that's important is that where is right here? Hold on one second. I have a note here. There will be an email going out on Monday with additional information for all speakers. They will include a link to register for the conference and another link for them to upload their bios and their headshots. Again, we're going to go through now. Listen, if you haven't got your acceptance yet, it's coming in. I have a handful left that I haven't trying to find a home, and if I can't find a home, that means reject them. But it doesn't mean they were bad. It's just I just don't have the space. As a matter of fact, I thought the quality of the submissions were the best I've ever had. There were so many good. I think my only criticism is that a lot of people wanted to talk about the same thing, which is AI and the future of AI and gaming and AI and this and I. And after a while, when you have 10 people want to talking about the future of AI, it's kind of really difficult to say yes to everything. So you have to whittle it down and do your best. And that's where the hard no's come in. Trust me, all of them are no. I mean, hard no's, because everything was so good. And so I was really impressed. So we're going to be on Tuesday on economic development track. We're at 9. It's Beyond the Pump, how travel plazas and casinos are evolving in Indian country. At 10, we're talking about tribal gaming and REITs, risking the risks and rewards. 11 a.m., understanding economic development in Indian country, gain insights into key legal and regulatory and financial factors that shape successful tribal economic development. So we're talking about development, understanding what you're doing, what's going on in Indian country. Again, 12 to 2, we have the lunch break, 2 p.m. scaling operations for success, 3 p.m. Enhancing the guest experiences and balanced amenities, and 4, building communities through philanthropy and social responsibility. So basically, this track provides tribal enterprises with strategies for sustainable growth, diversification, reinvestment, so development and sovereignty. So the next one after that, emerging trends, future of class 2, leveraging mobile technology to stay competitive at 9. At 10 a.m., sovereignty and tribal gaming challenges ahead with the new Trump administration. That's a new one, and what that's going to be a big thing of the show, which is what's it going to look like with the new administration? It's more about problem solving. We don't run around with our hair on fire. We don't wring our hands. We solve problems. That's what we do. So we are resolute going forward. We are looking at everything. And so this is one of them where we're going forward and understanding what the opportunities are going ahead. And there will be opportunities, but there will also be some challenges, and we'll address those as they come to. But, we're not hand wringers. We're problem solvers. Am I right, Jason?
Well, we're in a different era, right? Or, we've never faced this kind of dilemma before. And one of the things, to echo Brian and folks on the call, it is important to sign up now and book your hotel and get registered, because we're going to do a lot of things on Tuesday at our membership meeting that are going to discuss all these other all the topics you're discussing. Tribal leaders are going to be coming together in a policy meeting on Tuesday to discuss all this stuff in probably be a closed door meeting, but we're going to need all the tribal representatives there to focus on this stuff. And the trade show is what, Brian, 6 weeks away, 7 weeks away, and and we've got 7 more weeks of things that and events that could happen. So our trade show is going to be very timely in that sense. And so we're looking forward to, discussing this with everybody, including our commercial partners. Let's be honest here. I talked to a lot of the slot manufacturers. If there's tariffs coming down the line, a lot of these guys get their raw materials from overseas. So, I don't know what that does for slot machine production and the gaming floor items, but not to mention, think of every casino and think of every sundry shop. All that stuff comes from China. So, I mean, we're going to be talking about all that, and we'll see what the impacts will be. But yeah, this is a different era here dealing with this one. So who knows? Our pants might be on fire by the time the trade show starts. So
Yeah, go ahead, Chairman.
Let me interject. The pants might be on fire now, but we're there. We're on the line. I mean, I spent 3 consecutive weeks in Washington D.C. because we have to be there, and we worked the Hill yesterday, and we're talking to staffers mostly for the most part, but that's who we talk to a lot of anyway. But whether it's community or BIE, BIA, all these different things are going to have an impact. And when we look at that, we think about, well, that's government. But dating back 40 years and longer, that's where my father started in Washington, D.C., changing the impact and the delivery and how the government handles its trust responsibility. And so here we are. Those people have to do it right. We can't go backwards, and we're on the front line. And so those tracks are perfect. But at the same time, we got different audiences. The tribal leaders will be in with the membership meeting. And probably one of the more important ones is that afternoon at 3:30 that we'll have a very, very intense policy discussion, and we have to stand by tribal sovereignty. We have to help people understand the trust responsibility as it relates to Native America. There's some very scary times right now. If we don't give our people some confidence, we don't reassure that, we don't help them to understand that this administration is going to get it figured out and work with us. I think the highlight of that is that Secretary of State, Secretary of Interior, Burgum has a lot of experience working in Indian country, has a lot of experience understanding tribal sovereignty, and we're hoping that that's gonna help to level things off. But right now, we had a lot of layoffs at I think it's Haskell and SIPI. Some of these schools are directly impacted by immediate layoffs, and we have to be able to assure these folks that we're going to fight for them. And that's like I said, maybe Jason can tell you a little bit more about our discussions on the Hill, but we went and visited several senators' offices yesterday, and we're there. We got to be there, but there's no more important voice on Capitol Hill than our elected officials, and so that's what we got to put our minds together.
I agree. Any chance of them turning Greenland into an Indian reservation? Jason, you heard anything?
No.
Just checking. All right,
No.
good. All right, well, then I'll continue.
How about the Gulf of Native America? How's that?
What about cough?
Sorry.
All right,
Jason, can you give just a little bit more on some of our discussions we've had on the Hill the last couple of weeks and at NCAI last week?
Yeah, I mean, we're just there's a issue a day that's coming out of this administration, so it's kind of tough to stay focused on one issue and then the new one's already popped up. But clearly, we're Indian country is always impacted when you have funding freezes, government shrinking the workforce, and we're just trying to find the folks. And by the way, all this money was already appropriated last year for everything this year, so it's kind of hard to know where the authority rests for doing all this. But tribal colleges and Indian education are right now, they're in the crosshairs, and they're the ones that that are, their house is literally on fire, if not potentially shutting down here soon with the tribal colleges and Indian schools. If the funding gets cut off and if people get laid off, there's just simply no one to work there. So those are the types of messages we're telling our friends and senators and Congress people. But we have this March 14th deadline for the budget resolution, and that's just hanging over everybody's head right now. So including ours, and that's why our trade show March 30th, that all these things are going to be on the table for discussion. And it's a different world out there. We'll just say that because they're not going to have any tribal liaison office in the federal agencies, let alone in the White House. And that's the way of the world for the next couple of years in any event, and we're going to deal with it and continue to just meet with our friends in Congress that, remind them, if you budgeted for this, nobody can just wipe it away or put it somewhere else and use it for something else.
Have you tried doing it? I think you should do it with a Russian accent. I think you should try it with a Russian accent.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
On top of everything else, I
figured it out. I figured it out, man.
We're going back to the, appeasement, I guess. So, you can just take 20% of a country and blame the other side. So, maybe that's the blueprint for Greenland, Victor. We just take it.
I got my eye
and
on
blame
it.
them.
I got a place with some volcano property I'm looking at right now. So, but let's get back into it. Speaking of that, at going forward, I forgot the next one is called Future Proofing Tribal Gaming at 11 a.m. Strategies to compete in an evolving market. So a lot of our stuff you're going to see about that is, where are we going? I'm trying to answer a lot of questions. The changing landscape of responsible gaming at 2 p.m. at 3 p.m. Beyond the reservations, the economic ripple effect of tribal casinos. This is a study from the Native American Bank talking about the effect of tribal gaming off the reservation. And it was, like I said, I got so many great submissions, and this was one of them. And then at 4 p.m., the video revolution adapting to new platforms and consumer behavior. So again, for this track of emerging trends, we're talking about basically the critical insights, of how the industry is changing and class 2 sovereignty, responsible gaming. So we're definitely covering our bases. So the next one, interactive wagering, legal status of mobile gaming at 9, the power of retail, sports betting at 10, at 11, emerging trends of interactive wagering, opportunities and threats. We're going to be talking about prediction markets, blockchains, AI. The one after that at 3 p.m., we're going to be, no, that's not the one. That one's coming in later. Under Siege, the growing threats to tribal gaming in California. We're going to be talking about what's going on in California, and then Indian Gaming Online, progress, challenges, and insights. Basically, the positive one on what you should be doing, what we're looking at, where the industry's going, and something very forward-looking, which I think is very important, because not everything is doom and gloom, obviously. So then after that, legal and tribal sovereignty tech, tribal women at 9 a.m., driving profits, the purpose in Indian gaming. At 10 a.m., analytical dive into the Interior Department's Part 293 compact review regulations. At 11, which is really interesting, is it's called the Update on Canada Senate Bill 268, Recognitions of First Nations Gaming Jurisdiction. We're having a bunch of chiefs from Canada coming down, talking about how they're pushing for more autonomy and more sovereignty in gaming up there, and they're going to share some of their experiences. I was really excited to get that submission. There's a lot going up there. They don't have the type of freedom we have down here, but it's a very interesting story. 2 p.m., bringing down the hammer on sweepstakes and other illegal gambling activities. That's going to be the Scott Crow and other attorneys talking about the threat of sweepstakes gambling and crypto and other stuff for tribal gaming. And then we're doing a tribal energy sovereignty panel with talking about energy. I just talked to David Conrad from the DOE this morning, and he's coming out and he's going to talk about what their experience. Yeah, I talked to him. I'll call you later, Jason, about that.
Excellent.
And what their experience. He's still coming out. And reminds me, we're also doing an energy summit and that's going to be on a Wednesday. And basically, it was fun talking to David because he said what we were doing, which is basically looking at energy, but not necessarily renewables or green energy, but look at the opportunities that the next administration will be creating, which will be drilling, energy, mineral extraction. And the other thing that he mentioned was data centers. He said this administration has 4 points that they want to push with the tribes. He basically says re-energizing in Indian country. So we're going to take their talking points and see how they fit into what we're doing, but we're all ears. So it kind of seems like we were ahead of the game on this one. That was Jason Giles's ideas. He just told me to run with it, and so I'm really excited with what we have. And so the next one, player marketing and player development track at 9 a.m. Casino Loyalty 2.0 Emerging Trends and Winning Strategies. 10 a.m. Unlocking Power of Super Apps, Unifying the Customer Experience. 11 a.m. Incremental Revenue and Player Trip Driving Power of Continuity Gifting Programs. At 2 p.m. Redefining the Guest Experience. 3 p.m. The Next Evolution of Player Development. At 4 p.m. The Recruitment Edge campaigns for attracting and retaining talent. Very important. I apologize. I'm just blowing through those. We're in the process of putting everything online. We have new software that we're getting used to, so we're all learning how to work together on it. So I think it's slowing us down a little bit. And then also the fact that the conference is like 2 weeks, 3 weeks earlier than normal. 2 weeks, about 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, not that not that abnormal.
A month. It feels like a month to me. I'm just saying what so
It's
regular,
not, yeah, it's a week maybe too earlier, but not abnormal. We've had earlier shows.
I just feel I feel so much pressure. Okay, regulatory and compliance.
Sure, I need the pressure on you because I need you to make sure that we knock this one out of the park. But Victor, but let me assure you that while I give you that encouragement, it's Brian and Jason's the one that if it doesn't get knocked out of the park, if we hit a dribble or down the line and get thrown out at home, it's their fault. So I'm not blaming you, Victor. I'll blame them.
Listen, I think this is the best show we've ever done. I think the submissions were just phenomenal. I think everybody really got the spirit of what we were trying to do, and I think it just created a better show.
This show is shaping up to be one of the more also serious ones because those sweepstakes gaming is a that's an immediate threat. And then on top of that, this sports contract market that the Commodities Futures and Trading Commission is thinking of regulating threatens all of sports betting across the country.
And we'll probably be talking about that next week too. Now we will be talking about prediction markets. That's a big part of what we're doing.
Prediction markets, another one.
You know what? Jason and I are speaking on Tuesday at CNIGA, and we're doing a presentation about these threats, talking about sweepstakes prediction, DFS 2.0, peer-to-peer, crypto, and since we're in California, we'll be talking about card rooms too. But it isn't just one thing; it's everything at once, coming in all different directions. And so this is our way of
so they know, just so they know, we're obviously here promoting our show, but as long as you mention it, the Western Gaming Conference is next week. That'll be a giant show at a beautiful facility, and anybody can stop by and see us. But again, very important topics going on, and I think that we really have to take a strong look at that. Now, let me confuse you even further out there. Is our membership meeting runs kind of parallel, but there's thousands of people around, so there's plenty of sessions to go around. But if you want to see me, I'll be in those membership meetings, and there's some important things that are of vital importance, and they'll parallel to the discussion of all the different sessions that are going on. But I think it's really exciting to know that we're going to come together so close. So Western Gaming Show is good. We got Res coming up, and then I think we have a chance. And by the way, if we do hit it out of the park, I'll take the bows for Brian and Jason as well.
Listen, they work hard, and you got to throw Ed in there too, man. Ed is a hard worker. And listen, and all the staff, and Sam, and all the Clarion, and my dear Lisa, and everyone that is just really, I mean, it's just an incredible team. And then all the back office people that I got too. So,
Everybody's working hard, including Ed. I'll vouch for him this time.
yeah, yeah. So, regulatory and compliance track. This covers gaming regulation, compliance challenges, and innovation. So, 9 a.m. innovations and regulations, keeping pace with emerging gaming technologies. And you know what? This is actually a really good one. And this is one that was submitted by Dan Kostowski. And it's basically about, what if innovation is ahead of the regulators? How do you keep your regulators on track, and what do you do, and how do you bring them forward to a quickly and changing area? And listen, some regulators they are stuck in what they're doing, and are very slow to change, and other ones are very quick to change. So it's very important we discuss these things, and talking to some of these new industries and new companies that are pushing the envelope. They have these great ideas, and then they run into some regulators that just say nope. They just give them a hard no. So I think it's very important that we talk to the regulators and bring them forward and help them understand what these changing technologies do. And but they're our first line of defense. So innovation and regulation at 9 a.m. At 10 a.m., regulatory best practices and potential pitfalls of cashless gaming, very important. The evolving AML landscape, rules, risk, and compliance strategies, another very important. The AI advantage at 2 p.m., enhancing compliance and regulatory efficiency in gaming. 3 p.m., the vital role of the new gaming regulator. 4 p.m., navigating the impact of GASB 103 on financial reporting. So a lot of really solid business stuff, forward-looking stuff, but some real nuts and bolts type of stuff. So security and surveillance, we're almost done, guys. So security and surveillance, 9 a.m., navigating emerging threats to casino gaming. At 10 a.m., guarding the cage, fraud prevention and financial safeguards. 11 a.m., you will be hacked. Now what? Actually, this is something that I'm working on right now. If you've seen the Q&A casinos, 5 casinos are shut down. I'm basically bringing a bunch of cybersecurity experts, and we're going to take a look at that. What happened? What's happening? How do they reacted? What do we do? This thing is even bigger threat than sweepstakes gambling, which is, if you look at what happened to those guys, it was bad. It is gruesome. So we are looking at things that are happening today. That's very important to us. So 2 p.m., creating and maintaining a healthy culture in the new area of cybersecurity. 4 p.m., gaming and cyber risk best practices, mitigate risks and sleep better at night. Those are from our dear friends. Then the technology and innovation track, 9 a.m., NIGC, incorporating and regulating AI and tribal gaming. So I got now NIGC has their own track. They came in with so many great ideas, and I had so many regulatory sessions that I begged Brian to give me another room for NIGC so that I wouldn't shut down all the industry submissions for regulatory issues, and especially with AI and stuff like that. I thought it was very important that the industry speaks what they feel about the industry, and then NIGC talks about it also. So, but I wanted to start it with the NIGC. So they're going to open it up, incorporating and regulating AI and tribal gaming. After that, at 10 a.m., the digital evolution of tribal gaming, embracing emerging technologies. At 11 a.m., responsible AI and gaming, protecting tribal data in a digital world. At 2 p.m., the data-driven casino, how analytics are transforming tribal gaming operations. 3 p.m., the next area of tribal gaming, the 7 forces shaping its future, from my friend Andrew Cardno. 4 p.m., Beyond the Wires, transforming tribal gaming with next-gen infrastructure. Now, this is a really important one, which is about 5G cloud computing. And listen, you can't have new technology if you don't have a wireless infrastructure. I remember years ago I was talking about apps and stuff like that, and tribes are like going, we don't have wireless on the trade show floor. And the tribes have since learned, this was obviously as mobiles were just growing. So I think something like that is very important. We've had our friends at Tillman, DC. They're going to be involved in that. So, and then after this, we have the NIGC. They have their own track. They are natural and man-made disaster preparedness at 9 a.m. NIGC CJIS 2025 update at 10 a.m. 11 a.m. auditing revenue top challenges. At 2 p.m. regulatory ethical considerations. They have another one at 3 p.m. We're waiting for that. And then 4, emergency preparedness and opioid epidemic. I believe we're against it. So no, I'm just joking. It's fentanyl awareness and Narcanon resources. So that's what's happening on Tuesday. So we have an incredibly busy day on Tuesday. I just shot through the agenda. I didn't name any speakers because then we would have been here forever. But if you heard your name in there, I'm excited for you. If you haven't, there's a couple more spots that I'm trying to fit people in. But basically, I have like a handful of spots left, and I have about 30 submissions left, and that I love, and I'm trying to find a spot. But there's nothing left but heartbreak for people. And I'm sorry. I really tried to find spots for them, and I'm still holding on to them. I'm trying to find you as a speaker or something like that. So the next couple days, that's what I'm working on. Go, yes, Chairman.
That's okay, Victor, because everybody that made the cut, I'm taking credit for it, and then everybody that didn't, I'm throwing you under the bus. So that's okay. But let me tell you this. First of all, we have one highlight that I did mention, and that's on Wednesday. But in the morning, offsite, we're going to have a Women in Gaming recognition breakfast that is hosted by our Tribal Gaming Protection Network chair, Francis Alvarez. And so we're going to be there. Then we invited those women. There's about a dozen of them, maybe more. The names, I'm not going to go down the list of names because they're all amazing folks, and we're going to miss some. But it's a tribal women in tribal gaming recognition, and we're going to have in the ribbon cutting, but the recognition is going to take place after we cut the ribbon and visit a few of our major sponsors and say hello to Indian Country, and then at the Chairman's Lounge we'll have that recognition about 10:45. So don't forget that we'll go to that lounge after a few visits. But I want to say this: all this stuff, all is relevant. Everything you're saying, all those panels are a powerful part of our industry. But for me, on Tuesday afternoon, that policy panel with the tribal leaders present, talking about what we're up against right now, that's where I'm going to be.
Right. Listen, it's all hands on deck. This isn't a drill, and so we are front and center working on that. So, and Chairman, you bring up a really good point. We're talking about Wednesday now, so it's starting with the breakfast of Tribal Gaming Protection Network. I believe that goes from like 8 till 10 or 8:30 till 10 or something like that. It butts right up
That's
to
going to be real early. It's off-site. They'll be moving around, but
are they off-site?
Be there by the ribbon cutting.
Where are they at, Brian?
Actually, we just found a spot. They will be upstairs in the room. So the breakfast will be upstairs. They'll be able to come right down to the ribbon cutting and then go. So it just made more sense, Chairman, to suddenly get them there closer so they're there and available for your.
Yeah, you've worked that out. I trust Brian.
It'll be like a lounge at the airport. There'll be an announcement that says your flight is coming. So you got to get up and go down there. You know what I mean? To be one of those lounge things. But listen, it's very important. Tribal Gaming Protection Network asked if you want to do breakfast, and I thought it was a phenomenal idea. You know what I mean? And
Tribal Women in Gaming recognition. There's several amazing leaders on that list that will be recognized.
Right. And so that goes up until the ribbon cutting, and the ribbon cutting is at usually 9:45 to about 10.
Yes,
That's all the chaos at the front door, and it's usually pretty fun entertainment. We'll try to get, now that Williams and Ree aren't there anymore, we're going to try to get Canute and Gene Simmons instead to do the comedy stylings of Canute and Gene. So we're looking forward to that again.
I think Canute can carry the day. We'll have to work on Gene.
We'll have to work on Gene. You know what? I don't think they're coming on. I don't think we're going to see Gene and those guys this year, right, Brian? I don't think we're getting those guys. Am I correct?
Nothing has been confirmed as far as that goes, because a lot of those types of special things kind of come in very close to the end. So still working under, working on items, but that's to
never know.
Yeah. Right.
Do you think they're mad because Sam Manuel closed Rock and Brews? Do you think that's why they think they're hurt about that? So they made that announcement. I was like, what? I can't believe that. Every time I go there, that place is just crowded and stuff like that. So Wednesday morning, we open up, trade show floor opens up at 10. The crowds rush in. And obviously, one of the most important things is our trade show floor. Our vendors, our friends, our partners, We're very proud of them. We've always put on a good trade show floor. Brian, how's that going? Unfortunately, our friend Ed couldn't make it, but so you're going to have to fill in.
No, everything is going very, very well. It's exciting to be back in San Diego. So much is going on, and the trade show floor is full. Digital Play Summit is part of the program. On the show floor is the chairman's lounge with the programs going on there. The Tribal Leaders Lounge. So anywhere you turn, there's something special going on. And riding over the top, I have to say congratulations on air here because. It hasn't been mentioned yet, but it's the 40th year, I recall. Isn't it, Jason? Isn't this year the 40th year?
Yes. Yeah, thanks,
I
Brian.
missed that, Jason.
Wow.
Probably should have led with that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, and that's
First
my fault.
I've heard of it.
But
First you've heard of it.
But that's and again because we don't have the name secured yet of the second speaker, but Gay Kingman Wapato, who is the executive director of the Great Plains Tribal Chairmen's Association and the former media director, communications director under Rick Hill in his era. Gay is the one that helped Rick. She was the leader, even though Rick. The late Rick Hill and her late husband Tim Wapato were on the front line. She was the quiet leader, but behind that team that went to Washington to establish our presence in Washington D.C. And she will be one of the speakers. We'll have a second speaker, and that'll be centered around the 40th anniversary at our Sovereign Warrior Luncheon.
Yeah. And listen, and if you weren't on the agenda for Tuesday, we, as Brian says, we have a lot of stuff going on now. We have full on conferences going on Wednesday and Thursday. So on Wednesday, we have the Tribal Energy Summit, policy and strategies for Indian country. We're talking about the new administration, what to expect at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, adapting to policy reforms, tribal energy under the Trump administration, powering tribal enterprises at 11, tribal leadership and energy at 12, public-private partnerships in tribal energy at 1, at 2 p.m., optimizing efficiencies, the power of AI-driven analytics, and 3, unlocking capital, navigating federal and state funding for tribal energies. Now, one of the things that I failed to mention was that this is 2 tracks, and basically we're looking at it from 2 points. One, the tribal government, and the other one for tribal enterprise. So the first track that I just said right now, that was for the tribal government, how you can look at it. And the other one is from the private sector, and that's called the tribal enterprise track, and that's running concurrent. And again, starts at 10 a.m. The future of tribal energy innovations driving business growth, looking at AI, battery storage, microgrids, energy diversification. At 11 a.m., energy as a catalyst for tribal enterprise growth. 12 p.m. for casinos, the data centers, how microgrids are powering tribal business. 1, unlocking opportunities, business tribal policies and structures to attract investments. Cloud computing and AI, again, tribal data center opportunities, and then 3 p.m. EV charging and stuff like that. So we really, I think, when I talked to David Conrad this morning, I was really happy and surprised that I think that we kind of anticipated where this administration was going and created this track. And so we're going to be marketing it, and it's for, the idea was, tribal gaming and energy are very important. If I look at what my tribe done, we are very, very active. We have a utility. We have all these green, we have renewable and buying energy, EV charging. So you know what? I think this is something that tribes should be doing. It's very important. Money saving, investments, green energy. It just dovetails everything we are as Native American and what we are as entrepreneurs and business people too. So that's why we're doing that. Now, also on Wednesday, we have the Digital Play Summit. Now this is Wednesday and Thursday, and this is basically what we did last year, and it was very successful, was us looking at interactive wagering and new forms of gaming and being very proactive in the future of gaming. So we're really excited about this. Going to 10 a.m., digital leadership, skills that define the next decade. So basically talking about what the tribes are going to need to be competitors in the next generation of gaming. The power of the omni-channel customer, shifting consumer behaviors at 11 a.m. 12 p.m., protecting players, profits, and sovereignty. Cybersecurity, obviously very important. At 2 p.m., the next gen player. 3 p.m., assembling the right team for innovation. At 4 p.m., problem gambling in the age of mobile betting. And then on day 2, we're going to be talking market integrity and financial innovation. So fighting back against sweepstakes and unregulated gambling at 10, 11 a.m., leveling the playing field, collaboration strategies for smaller tribes. 12 p.m., protecting the future, how AI and analytics will revolutionize tribal gaming. At 1 p.m., from cash to crypto, are tribes ready for the digital economy? Basically very forward looking and saying, listen, regardless of how you feel, this is where the industry is going. We believe this is where the industry is going, and you need to give this serious consideration where the industry is going. So, and then at 2 p.m., Nickel G's is coming in talking about their iGaming model legislation. So excited to have them in there. And that's on Thursday. And then, we don't have much time, but we have the Chairman's Lounge on Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. And then we have, oh gosh, let me see if I can go through this really quick. Okay, yeah. Okay, on Wednesday, Chairman, you're going to be doing, you're going to have the floor from 10 to 1 p.m. on your stage. We have at 11, we're giving a TGMP award. We have at 1:30, Our Worlds, The Next Generation of Culture by Kilma Latin, Advanced Social Security Solutions for iGaming, Indian Gaming and Emerging Technologies, the 2:30, Next Wave of Class 2 Innovations. 3 to 4, Chairman's got the stage again. 4 p.m., Leading with Heart, Compassion as Strategy. 4:30, How to Run a Sports Book. Now, when Chairman isn't over here, he's going to be on the other stage. I might have to change some stuff and bring him back on this stage too. We have him on a Thursday on the stage, 10 to 12, and then 12:30, Bridging Tourism, Emerging Gaming. At 1, Drug Abuse and Trafficking Prevention Strategies, and 1:30, Best Lessons from the Best Brands in the World. And then we have other stuff. I didn't seem to put it, but I got it over here. Hold on 1 second.
Don't forget my guy, Joe Geist, would be there. He has a couple of awards they're giving out from Imagine This. And Imagine This has been a sponsor for our tribal colleges, and nobody needs it more than them right now. So Imagine This will be giving out 2 awards to the casino industry.
Yeah, and as they always do. So, you know what? We're going to end up on time. I have a couple more sessions that are happening over on, we have the Chairman's Lounge and the Tribal Leaders Lounge. Let me see, my notes are kind of messed up. Yeah, you know what? I forgot the Tribal Leaders Lounge, and I can't find it in my notes right now. But you know what? Everything's going up right now. There's a couple more, there's more sessions going on, and I forgot a bunch of important ones, but there's still some more. I have a couple more spaces in my pocket. I have a handful of sessions yet I'm trying to that I love and that I haven't found a home yet. So if you haven't got an email yet, that means I'm still trying to find a spot for you, and there will be some joy and some heartbreak left. But I honestly feel this is the best show that we've ever put on.
Joy is for me, and the heartbreak is Victor's fault.
Listen, it's so tough telling people no. I mean, I know it looks like I enjoy it, but I don't. You know what I mean? I really want to give everybody. I really want to give everybody an opportunity, and this is, we've created something really great here with leadership and tribes, and we've created an environment for education and an environment for business, and that's what we're here for, and government and stuff like that. But you want to come to IGA and you want to make a deal. We've created a great environment for that. So we're really excited to see everyone. Chairman, do you want to say anything? Because we're getting ready to leave.
Yeah, let me say this, we're doing the best we can, and we're going to do our best to get everybody out there. And so joking aside, I won't blame it on Victor, but hey, sign up now, get your registration in now, folks, because we have a lot of things happening now. I'm going to pop in at some of those breakouts and those sessions you have, Victor. But if anybody's looking for me, whenever the membership meeting's in play, that's where I'll be, where the leaders are. And then one of our most important one is Tuesday afternoon. Is that Jason, the policy discussion?
Yes.
Jason, just quickly, and one more thing, don't forget the luncheon and the golf are paid. I don't have freebies, so you folks got to sign up for those and get registered. Jason, take us through as far as my last acknowledgement here. Take us through that policy discussion. Why it's so vitally important. Why we've been working the hill all through this early part of the new administration.
Yeah, I mean, that's just we're going to talk with tribal leaders, reinforcing the nation-to-nation status of Indian tribes and our treaty protections, and all the things in the federal government that are directed towards Indian tribes. That's not out of the goodness of the government's heart. It's not some race-based program. It's because our treaties, when you read them, when you read the Pechanga Treaty, the Muskogee Creek Treaty, the Oneida Treaty, which they broke, George Washington broke the Oneida Treaty several times. It says delivery of services, health, education, welfare, and that the United States will protect tribes, from here to eternity. And they enshrine that in the Constitution. So, here we are 250 years later, there'll be a big celebration in 2026, 250 years of the United States of America. Olympics are coming in 2028. That's going to include lacrosse, a distinctly Native American game. We've got to remind this administration, this stuff exists for a reason. And if they want to renegotiate the treaties, they need to come talk to tribal governments and tribal leaders. But in the meantime, this policy discussion is where we're going to be. And that's our direct line to talking with the Secretary of Education, the Secretary of Interior, Secretary of Energy, all these important federal agents that I don't think they realize the daily impact they have on Indian tribes and tribal citizens living on the reservations. I mean, you could just look at the Park Service and what's going on with the Park Service right now, and all these laid off folks, and they're trying to get ready for spring fire season on into the summer. It's kind of a harrowing deal, and that's what our policy meeting is going to do. And we really need tribal leaders to come to that one and maybe get a big statement out of it. And we'll see what we need to do beyond that.
So again, very important. I think now is more important than ever that we get together and discuss these issues. Again, IGA is leading and providing the format to have these discussions. For tribal gaming, it's very important that you're there. We want to see everyone there. Now is the time to come together, all hands on deck. This is not a drill. So, on one hand, we're doing our business, but we're doing our politics is what IGA is. You got to remember, IGA was created to protect tribal gaming, and that's what we do, and that's our mission, and that's what we do. So, and by the way, and by participating in IGA and by participating in this conference, you are supporting tribal gaming. So and our mission too. So we really appreciate you, and thank you very much for supporting the Indian gaming. So, well, look, we ran a little over there, and our dear Rick Hill, one of our dear friends, So, all right, Brian, thank you very much. Chairman, thank you very much. Everyone, we're sorry we ran a couple minutes over. Thank you guys for sticking around. We really appreciate you. Everything will be posted. We're doing our best to get them up there as soon as possible. So again, thanks everyone. We'll talk to you next week. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you all. Great seeing you all.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye now.